Hey, what is up guys, Murderman4 here, back with another Minecraft Snapshot showcase. And this week I'll be covering the previous 4 major snapshots. So from 15w33a to 15w35b, I believe. And so a fair amount has been added in that time. Not quite as much as the first snapshot had in all those other snapshots now, but we'll get right into it. So we're going to start out here, which is the fact that with either a creeper head, a skeleton head, a zombie head, and is that it for the heads? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So with a skeleton skull, a zombie head, or a creeper head, when you have one of those mobs, they won't detect you as easily. So you have to be further away from them, or you have to be closer for them to be able to detect you. So, as you can see, he isn't noticing me. He isn't noticing me. Oh, now he's noticing me. Don't blow up stuff. Okay. Well, that was close. Anyways, I was going to use my ender pearls to showcase that both ender pearls and chorus fruit now have a cooldown, so you can't, like, rapidly spam it. Which is probably a good thing for your health. How do I get back now? There we go. So yeah, they have a cooldown now, which is interesting. We also have some new stats, which is sneak time and picked up and dropped items. So if you go into your statistics, you have the amount of time that you've sneaked under sneak time, and then items dropped and items picked up as well. We also have some new scoreboard additions with 5 new objectives. One of them is displayed on the side there as hunger. But that's XP, food, oxygen, armor, and level. So XP tracks the amount of XP points that you have. Food tracks the amount of hunger points that you have. As you can see, my hunger has gone down from 20. And 20 is full, by the way. Oxygen tracks how much air you have. Armor tracks how many armor points you have. And level tracks how many experienced levels, not points, that you have. So, moving on to the next thing here. There's been some changes to attacking. So now all of the tools have a cooldown that you have to wait to be able to get the full power of the weapon or tool when attacking, and so you'll notice that on the side there beside the hotbar. So it needs to load all the way up to be able to get the full effect. So you can see the attack speed there along with the attack damage. So the attack damage is the maximum amount of damage it can do without critical hits or enchantments and stuff. And the attack speed is how many times it is able to attack fully per second. So the diamond sword is 1.45 attack speed, the diamond axe is 0.9 attack speed, the pickaxe is 1.2 attack speed, diamond shovel is 1 attack speed, and the diamond hoe is 4 attack speed. So if you're going for speed, the hoe is your best option, but attack damage, you're going to want to go with the sword when combined with speed. Because in the previous snapshot, the hoe is the best in terms of damage per second, but this here is ordered in best to worst in damage per second. So the sword is still your best weapon option. And so I'm going to go ahead and just kill that. So one thing you may have noticed, well, 2 things you may have noticed. There's a new kind of particle thing that happens when you attack a mob. So you'll see some brown hearts. And then there's another particle thing that goes out in front of me, kind of like a, I don't know, something just shooting out in front of me. And so that thing is kind of a knockback field. So because of the recharge, you can't rapidly hit. However, if you're stuck in a horde of zombies or something, you can't rapidly hit all of them. But when you hit a mob, anything within that little field, oh no, you're moving my chest all about. And whatever mobs are in that field will get a slight knockback, which is kind of neat. And also, I thought I'd mention that particles are now not entities, so it makes your game a lot, and I mean a lot, less laggy when you have a whole bunch of particles like this going on. Alright, so here's the major thing in these few updates. We now have shields. So these are crafted with 3 wool, can be any color, but they all have to be the same, so you can have a base color. So there's shields of all the different colors of wool. Then you need 3 wooden planks and an iron ingot, and you have your shield. And you can actually combine your shields with banners of the same base color to be able to get a shield with a design on it. Oh, I'm still wearing the creeper head. So pretty much how it works is swords can no longer block. So if I give myself a sword, you'll see I am right-clicking, but nothing's happening because shields now do the blocking. I'm not sure if they block just as much damage as swords used to, but the dealio is you attack and you can block, but you cannot attack and block at the same time. And also I believe that if you use an axe against a shield, it will do a bit more damage than a sword will be able to do. But yeah, so pretty much you can't do the attack block thing with the sword anymore, but you can do a very similar thing with the sword and shield, which is actually kind of neat. I quite like that. And so, I don't know if you could tell, but it was my failed attempt at a Canadian flag. It looks better on the banner, but oh well, what can you do? Now we're going to move on to the command blocks. There have actually been quite a few changes to command blocks since the 1.9 snapshot started rolling out. So one thing you'll notice off the bat is there are 3 different colors and there's a brand new texture. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But one thing I'm going to mention right here is that it has 3 new different options for states. So we have impulse, chain, and repeat, unconditional, conditional, and the one I'm going to showcase here is needs redstone or always active. When it needs redstone, it's exactly how it was before, but always active means it doesn't need redstone at all. It's acting as if it always has a redstone signal. So you no longer need to have some source of redstone beside it if you always want it to work. So if I say give at p Minecraft golden apple, it should work. Always active, eh? Seems to keep switching. I don't know, it's probably still buggy because it's just brand new. So that's the way it's supposed to work. And so moving on, so this one here is the impulse, which works exactly the same as the old command block. Next we have the chain, which as you can see it doesn't do anything, and we'll get into that up here. And next we have the repeat. So as you can see, it just makes a whole list of that. So yeah, as I said, the impulse is exactly the same as the old one. The chain needs to have a command block behind it activate first, and then it can send a signal through a whole chain of command blocks, and anything that's within all the chain and command blocks will activate. So as you can see, they each have a say command, so if I do that, not all of them will activate because I actually don't have this one being powered. However, it still goes all the way through, so it can still transmit a signal even if it doesn't have a redstone signal itself, and only the ones with a redstone signal to them can actually execute their command. So unfortunately this cannot go into another command block other than a chain one, as far as I can tell, at least not at the moment, but you can still get all these different commands like this. So that's actually really nice. And so the next one here is repeat, which of course just repeats itself infinitely. So that is really, really useful. No more need for redstone clocks, and with that new redstone thing, if it works, or the needs redstone thing, this is going to save so much space in redstone contraptions. And there's one other thing here, unconditional and conditional. Unconditional means that it'll work just like a regular command block. But conditional, which for whatever reason this isn't set to, requires a command block behind it to have been activated and succeeded in executing the command. So as you can see, it's not doing anything, but once this one succeeds, then it can work, which is kind of neat because it adds for a different type of requirement that you might need. However, if this command block fails at doing anything, this goes back to failing as well. And the other thing you'll notice is the arrows. And so that shows which direction it's pointing, and so that way you know where to place the command block. So this works how you'd place pistons or logs. And so yeah, it's just a way to transmit signals, I guess, through the command block. So the square thing is the back, the more circular thing is the front, and the arrows just show the direction that it's going, which is really quite neat. Next we have a smaller change, but one that I am very happy about. I'm going to turn the time to night. And so, it's just a small texture change, but instead of turning into a zombie villager with regular old zombie clothes, all the villagers, when turned into zombie villagers, now retain their own clothing, which is really, really neat. I think it makes it look quite a bit more creepy, and I really like it. And the other thing you might have noticed is that they actually, zombies actually swing their arms up and down now as they attack, which is also a slight change, and also really neat. Come on, kill him. I want to see Priest Zombie. Yeah! So it's, I actually really like that. That's really cool. Thank you, Mojang. That little burn. Alrighty, so now we are going to go to the end to do some Ender Dragon stuff, because there's been some more changes to the Ender Dragon, and so here we go. Alright, I don't know how many of these I'll be able to successfully showcase in the fight, but I'm going to do it in creative just for time's sake. So I'm going to respawn in the Ender Dragon. I don't know if this is still the method to do it, but we're going to find out anyways. And they are going to replace this method at some point with another more proper method of respawning in the Ender Dragon, unless they have already. Nope. Okay. So, one thing you'll notice right off the bat is now that I've respawned in the Ender Dragon, all the Ender Crystals are now respawning, which is kind of nice because it means that the battle is now back to being a bit more difficult. So all the towers and stuff will respawn and everything. So, yeah. And the Ender Dragon fireballs are now changed to... Oops. Are now changed to spawn Ender Acid in as well, the stuff that he spits out of his mouth, just to make it a bit more dangerous. And so it'll spawn Dragon's Breath, as it's called. I think that's the proper name instead of Ender Acid, as well as the fire. And so they've also added a new charge attack to the Ender Dragon, and both the wings and the tail now cause damage. Oops, there goes my laptop battery. Both the wings and the tail both cause damage now, so if it's perched atop its little thing here, you're going to have some difficulty because you can only attack it from the front. And guess what? You also cannot use arrows when it's on top of its portal thingy, so you have to use melee. So that's a lot more challenging. Wait, I just realized I'm not doing anything because of these stupid crystals. The Ender Dragon can also be killed anywhere again. It used to only be able to be killed on top of the portal. However, before it dies, it will go on top of the portal. And so the respawn Ender Dragons will drop 500 XP. I'm not sure how much the original Ender Dragon drops, but I know that the original respawned ones did not drop as much. And so we're going to do that. And we're going to want him to come down. I'm going to grab a... Oh, there's one of his fireballs. So as you can see, it's got a slightly different texture, kind of purpley. We're actually going to take a bottle. And you'll see why in a second. Ooh, here it is now. The Dragon's Breath, if you click it, you actually get Dragon's Breath, which is used to create a new type of potion called a Lingering Potion, which is really neat. You know what, I'm just going to go back to the overworld and show you that. Alrighty, Lingering Potion. So the Lingering Potion is created by having Dragon's Breath on the top and some splash potions along the bottom. So, do it like so, you get your Lingering Potions. And so they look like this, kind of like normal potions, but with their tops lopped off. And so it works by you throw it, and anything that steps within the field will get that effect. So it's for all the effects. So as you can see, there's a little field there, and once I fall into it, I get the invisibility effect, which is really cool. So this fades away after a minute or two, but that's actually really, really neat. I quite like this Lingering Potion. Why aren't you getting poisoned, pig? You look poisoned. Why aren't you getting hurt, sucker? Yeah, like I've got the poison effect. What are you doing? Maybe we'll use the harming. There we go. So yeah, just a really new, cool new type of potion that adds for a new element to potion making. Another quick little change here is that potions now shoot out of dispensers similarly to how arrows and stuff do. So they go a long way now, which is pretty sweet. And one final change is the maps. So you create your map and it starts out about this zoomed out. However, there was previously no way of zooming into a map, only zooming out. So this is the way of zooming in. So you'll see it uses a bit of shear's durability, and now it's zoomed in, which is really kind of neat. It's just a quick little change, but I like it. And yeah. Actually, before I finish off, there's one more change in the end that I'd like to mention, and that is the fact that the end ships, they no longer have a beacon in them. There's something else that's going to be in there. It hasn't been added in yet, but we're going to find out soon enough. So that'll be really cool. So thank you guys for watching the snapshot overview. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope it was informative. If you enjoyed, please give a like and or subscribe, whichever you feel necessary. And Murgaman 4, over and out. I'll see you guys later.